अरे बोल।
मतलब
की जय।
दंडवत प्रणाम। जय
दंडवत प्रणाम। जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
जय हो।
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो।
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Who is that?
जय।
A for apple. Who is that? Anurag Prabhu?
Yeah, even I am wondering that. I think I will.
बिल्कुल प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Oh,
Pranam.
Jai. He has now upgraded himself to A. Hari bol.
Show
Jai.
your moon-like face.
I'm just finishing my dinner.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Please continue. After that, you can show your moon-like face.
Yeah.
We could have shown it while
Okay.
during the dinner also, but we would like to have your version anyways. Okay. So anyway, that was. I just try to get one more thing for the discussion today.
Will you give me a minute, Prabhu?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. There was one more thing which we could utilize for the discussion. Okay, so couldn't prepare that much, but
Madam Leela Prabhu, just give me a minute, okay?
yeah. Om Agyan.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'm joining, sir.
Or we can just maybe sing Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivar Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivar Dhari Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravan Chari Yamuna Tiravan Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव माई सुभद्रा जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय निताय गौरंगा बोलो गौर हरि निताय गौरंग बोलो गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जय श्रील गुरुदेव की जय
Jai.
Jai His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Bhagavat Pad ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Gyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadmayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana
Raghunatham
Anvitam Tvam Sajeevam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Devam
Devam
Shri Radha Krishna
Krishna
Padam Sahagana Lalita
Lalita
Shri
Shri Shakam
Shakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna
Sindhu
Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha
Gopesha Gopika Kanta
Radha
Radha Kanta
Namaste
Namostute
Tapta Kancana
Gaurangi
Gaurangi
Shri
Radha
Radhe
Kundavaneshwari
Vishwari Vrishabhanu
Vrishabhanu Sute
Sute
Devi
Devi Pranamami
Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha
Kataru
Kalpatarubhyascha
Pashya
Kripa Sindhubhya
Gopya
cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Yo Namo Namaha
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Gadadhara
Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Rama
Ram Ram
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we can have some great fortune and privilege today because it was yesterday the 80th Vyas Puja, most auspicious ceremony of Bhagavad Pad, His Holiness Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So I had the great privilege and opportunity to also attend a couple of Vyas Puja ceremonies here in Juhu Temple and here in Mumbai, another Mira Road Temple. Both those temples were established by under the divine leadership of Maharaj. And especially Juhu Temple is obviously a supremely historic offering to Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So I thought personally, I have myself also felt very, I've felt greatly inspired, greatly fortunate, greatly privileged to be able to hear, to associate with Maharaj, let's say Raj, pretty briefly, but still within that get a lot of mercy and now hear so much about Maharaj after Maharaj has left the world. So I truly felt this way that after hearing Maharaj and especially after the last will of Maharaj that was dictated and his instructions to his disciples, I personally felt that Maharaj actually has for, let's say, all time to come or for a long time to come, will keep initiating people as a Shiksha Guru with his divine instructions and his example. And so I think we can all also have the great privilege to be initiated as Maharaj Shiksha disciples. If we can incorporate, learn from his life and his teachings. So I really felt that way, that Maharaj is, you say that Guru initiates in his lifetime, but actually Guru, in one sense, as a Shiksha, can keep initiating, and I really, so many examples I've heard, and I felt greatly, I really felt inspired, and I thought of sharing this today also. Shaktisar Prabhu and I had a discussion earlier also, because I think that this discussion will greatly help me, and hopefully it helps you all.
Help me a lot. Yes,
to, as especially Satyasar Prabhu, yourself taking such a leadership position in the service of Srila Prabhupada's mission. So who better example than His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who took, especially in India, but also in Russia and East Africa and other places in the world. We know that Maharaj also used to visit us in Seattle. We have seen Maharaj visiting
he's a
Seattle.
co-GBC. He was a co-GBC also, right?
He was co-GBC also earlier.
Yes.
He was, okay, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So that's great.
With Harivilas Prabhu. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Then later he was not. Initially,
Later he stepped down because Harivilas Prabhu was managing everything. Maharaj was just a co-GBC as a senior god brother.
I guess. So then he stepped down. He said, only let Haridas Prabhu.
Correct.
Okay. Just one
Then Bhakti Marg Maharaj became a co-GBC. Vancouver and Seattle and Alaska, Portland is what Haridas Maharaj's zone.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, yeah.
Sorry, just blinking a little bit.
He was our GBC. That's what I'm saying. He was our authority.
Oh, that's wonderful to know. That's a great thing to know, actually. Thank you. So, especially as we take up, and you're taken a very nice responsibility, very prominent responsibility, but we are all in some way or the other, taking up a responsibilities, in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So I think there's so much to learn from this. So that's why I could not, frankly, I have to admit, I didn't really compile it in a very organized way, but hopefully it does get more organized. I had shared this with you, this document also earlier. And maybe just as a big glorification first, we had made this thing of let me share this thing with you.
Nice photos, Prabhu.
Yeah, I didn't. I sent it on the. Did you see it? This is
I saw it.
This is Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja, just 3 days back in Juhu.
Yeah, I saw that.
So this is Brajhari Prabhu, who is the president. Yeah. Radhanath Swami Maharaj and Gauranga Prabhu were also there.
Jai.
So we put this exhibit there. Yeah. So you see this. Yeah. You see this one?
Yeah.
As a glorification. So we have prepared this thing. And under the direction of His Grace Anurag Sharma Prabhu, we had also set it up in the Rohini temple and other places. So you can see here, we are talking about His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, His Divine Legacy Trailblazers. We're talking about transcendental books, transcendental bricks, transcendental bhaktas. Okay. So from 1937 to 1977 to 2024, largest volume of books, 60 plus, moved to 200 plus in 77 at least, and 2024 at least 1500 plus. Okay, so we are saying that nobody did so much. So if you take 1937, it was 60, then 75 temples and 5,000 plus disciples.
Right.
Move to 1977, 200 plus at least books. Prabhupada himself wrote 80 plus, then you add 60 plus, and then more by Gaudiya Math, like that. Then at least 200 plus temples, 108 was by Prabhupada himself. Then, his previous Gaudiya Math temples, etc. And then a number of disciples, at least 10,000 plus, became in 77. And in 2024, it went up to 1,500 plus temples. And then, the books, we have a record of many of these. At least 1,500 plus books now. Huge number. Then 1,000 plus temples. Latest one coming up is in, you can visit, it's in it's in the central time zone in America. So that's one of the most auspicious temples coming up under the able leadership of the very inspired and benevolent couple, Satyasai Prabhu and Mataji. So that's about 1,000 plus temples which are there, and then at least 200,000 plus initiated devotees. Actually, it'll be more. So this is what has been done by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and his legacy. The foremost exponent. So this is the maximum which has been done for Sanatan Dharma, not just for Gaudiya Vaishnava. We are trying to. Nobody did so much for Sanatan Dharma in colonial India till 1937 and all. Nobody did so much. And then Srila Prabhupada takes it forward to bring it to 1977, what nobody did for Sanatan Dharma in recent history at all. Okay. And then his disciples take it up to the whole new next level. And amongst his disciples, especially distributing the maximum number of books and building the maximum number of temples. And also along with Jayapataka Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, bringing in the maximum number of devotees has been done by none other than Bhagavad Pad, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
So, what do you say, Prabhu? Nice?
Amazing.
To share it this way. We have to be able to share these things with people, that our acharyas are not, this is not a sectarian, ISKCON or even Gaudiya Vaishnava. Nobody has done for Sanatan Dharma, for the Vedic tradition, as much as our acharyas have done. No one can come. You can pick up people, whether it is Sadguru or Vivekananda or Sri Sri. We don't have to name them in public. But you can take any name and they will not match up in these three categories. All the three have to match. They may have followers, or some maybe have more followers. But did they build that many temples? Or first of all, temples they will fail. They, even some of the, all the acharyas, they build their goshalas and other social institutions. They build schools and colleges and hospitals and, other shelters for poor or whatever, different things like that. Right? And even goshalas. But how many have done temples? And how many have published books directly about the Vedic tradition? That much.
Correct.
So we have to, in fact, I wanted to propose this to basically even Radheshyam Prabhu and all. I will share that this needs to be, we should try to include this in our Discover Yourself. There's initial people should come to know what this tradition has done for Sanatan Dharma. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So in the start itself, we should be able to share. We are not just sharing philosophy. We are talking about the concrete work which has also happened.
Hmm.
Correct, na?
Correct, absolutely.
So this is, I've shared with quite a few people within, and people agreed that we should do it. Anyway, now today we are talking about, I refer to this because His Holiness Gopal Krishna, so I don't know the exact number, how many temples. We know in Delhi, 18 temples. In Bombay, at least 4 temples, I think. How many? At least 3 temples in Bombay. The third one is to open up now, but there are other smaller temples also are there. So at least if you include other smaller temples, then it is more. Then so many others. And even in Russia, there's another, so many places. So the number of temples Maharaj has developed, the number of books, book distribution, Maharaj, and the maximum number. The maximum number of books in ISKCON have been
Wow.
distributed under the direction of Maharaj only. He was the pioneer. And say, so what will happen? Worldwide, who is leading in marathon? It will be Pune temple, or it will be Delhi temple, or it will be Juhu temple. And Mayapur also, I think. But Pune, Delhi, Juhu, they will be leading. But all the 3 are under Gopal Krishna Maharaj only. So, and Maharaj would not go anywhere in the month of December and November. He will just be in Delhi. Gaurang Babu shares this story that he one time called Maharaj for Maharaj, in December, can you come for this? So he said, Gauranga, why did you schedule the meeting in December? In Delhi, in December, I don't leave Delhi. He's like a general in the army. He is with the armed force, inspiring them every single day. So somebody was telling, I think ISKCON has distributed 67 crore books till.
Wow.
Guess what somebody was saying? 67 crore books.
In India, Prabhu?
I think all over the world. Now this stats, yeah. Somebody in this Vyaspuja was only sharing. Is this worldwide or? This is a good question. This is the stats which we should be able to know and share. Nobody has distributed so many books. This is Prabhupada's instruction by Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur, and you can see how His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj took it so deeply in his heart. So deeply in his heart. One time, Srila Prabhupada was asked a question to his own disciples that who is eligible to be a guru? Who is eligible to be a guru? And they gave many answers, including the first verse of Upadesh Ramita, which is that, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam. And then, Prithivim Shashishyat. He can make all disciples who has all Veg, who can control everything. Like so many things people were saying. You know what Maharaj said in the end? What Prabhupada said in the end? Prabhupada said, one who is a true servant. I mean, I don't know exact words, but one who is basically a sincere, dedicated servant of his guru. He can become a guru. That's it. This is the qualification. You have to become a sincere, dedicated, like you yourself are also saying how for this building of this temple, such a wonderful seva that you are doing, you got the inspiration from Maharaj, right? From His Holiness Rompa Swami Maharaj. He has so, and that's from that instruction, from that inspiration, is that you are getting the strength. You are able to do, and you are able to act as a leader for so many. Because you are trying to follow. So you're trying to follow sincerely the Guru. Then you can become a Guru. So His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj has primarily been such a dedicated follower of Srila Prabhupada and his ISKCON body that is the, that basically, that is why Maharaj could become such a Guru for tens and thousands of people, and especially a Shiksha Guru maybe of lakhs of people, you know, because he was completely dedicated to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON, and ISKCON's GBC. He was, as they said, he was a Prabhupada man, like Shrutakirti Prabhu was saying, he's a Prabhupada man, he's an ISKCON man, and then if you see in his last will, he's a GBC man. So he is very clear on what he is dedicating his life to, basically, who he is dedicating to life. Otherwise, you can be a Prabhupada man, but not an ISKCON man. Some people, like that, like that. But he was the Prabhupada man. He was an ISKCON man, and he was a GBC man that way. So I will share a few things which are there.
Sure, Prabhu.
Which is when specific incidents, etc. Then you guys can be a discussion as always that we have been having. But it is a small booklet, and maybe it's good to just read it. And this itself is Maharaj speaking, which is last will and everything. Okay. So I don't know if they put the whole last will, but they have moved this. So let's see. So this is a very good learning. So okay, so Maharaj is saying, I have the hard copy of this here, not a soft copy. So you may not be able to see it. I'm just going to read it. Okay. I have always been loyal. I have always been loyal to the governing body commission of ISKCON and the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, as reflected in his books. Yeah. So you see, it's very clear. In his very first sentence, he talks about GBC of ISKCON, not just. And Maharaj completed 50 years of being in the GBC, by the way, himself.
Wow.
And left the world while being in the GBC and while being the chairman of ISKCON India Bureau. And in fact, when literally left the world on the battlefield, like a Kshatriya in a way.
Wow.
Because he went for the meeting of ISKCON Bureau of India, despite the bad health. He went for that meeting primarily because he said, I am the chairman, I have the responsibility. He went for the meeting in Dehradun, and that's where he left us, basically. So you can see that he has, what an example this is, basically, really giving himself completely. In fact, people were saying, Maharaj, don't go there. And so many other disciples were waiting to get initiated in others, couple of cities like Chandigarh, etc. And Maharaj said, no, if I go to Chandigarh and all, I don't go for the bureau meeting, then someone may say that he is going to make disciples, he's traveling, but he's not coming for his management duty. Can you imagine? As such a senior,
Amazing, no, Krishna?
He still has that duty consciousness in his mind till his last breath. I mean, who could have told him? He's with his age, with his health, with his all that he has done. How could you feel that way that somebody can even, and he's not initiating for himself, he's so many disciples are crying for initiation for years. So he's still feeling that way. You see that? I mean, they're so conscious of this thing. I was shocked to hear this one. This was like one of those things. I'm just saying that some of those incidents which we can remember in our lives. What is it, I mean, pura isko organize kare na, so much if we organize, then so much we can learn. Left on the battlefield, literally, and decided to go to Dehradun for his management duties, prioritizing it over initiating several disciples in Chandigarh, etc. So what an example that, that's just anyway. So some of these things will keep coming up, what I have remembered, what I have tried to remember. Okay, now he says, I would like all my disciples to follow the GBC body. Yeah. He's very clear. I would like all my disciples to follow the GBC body. That's it.
Correct.
He's not mincing any words. So he's not mincing any words. So this was for me one of those inspirations. As I said, Prabhupada man, ISKCON man. In fact, they have come up with this back to Godhead. Yeah, my background is blurred right now. But they have come up with this back to Godhead. I got this copy. This back to Godhead, they have just come up with. BTG India, which says the foremost ISKCON man. Very nice. The foremost ISKCON man that they have called Maharaj as. You can see by his life and examples, basically. That one. Okay. Now he says, I have never taken one step out of ISKCON. And I desire that they, that means my disciples, render their services in ISKCON and not run here and there looking for some easy way out. Yeah. Because sometimes it's an easy way out to do something else. Yeah. Okay. The Guru manifests himself in two ways, through Vapu and through Vani. Vapu, you may have heard many times, is temporary. Vani is permanent. So all my instructions are drawn and therefore reflected from Srila Prabhupada's books. All my instructions are drawn and therefore reflected from Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada had said, your love for me will be shown by how much you cooperate amongst yourselves, and my desire from all my disciples is the same, to cooperate among themselves and with the ISKCON authority forever. He has added this point, cooperate amongst themselves and with the ISKCON authority forever. If I were to pass away outside India, I will be grateful if my body could be brought to Vrindavan or Mayapur and kept in Samadhi there. If I were to pass away in North India, I would like my Samadhi to be in Vrindavan. If I were to pass away near to Mayapur, I would like my Samadhi to be in Mayapur. There also you can see he's, it's not like he is only attached to, I was just thinking this myself, because primarily Maharaj's zone of work was Vrindavan or, let's say North India. But he's saying if I live close to Mayapur, then let my Samadhi be in Mayapur. He's not particular in that sense, right? It's like wherever Prabhupada's main places are, I'm fine. Okay. There is a plot of land in Vrindavan where my disciples wanted to construct a house for me. Okay, I did not encourage that. It's my desire that this particular land should be donated to ISKCON Vrindavan for any purpose they may deem fit. Okay. Now this is what he's saying house, he actually means the Samadhi.
Oh, I see.
That I did not understand earlier, and somebody clarified it to me. So what happened is Maharaj's disciples wanted Maharaj's Samadhi in Vrindavan. Maharaj basically taken care of ISKCON Vrindavan for a long time. So they wanted a proper plot of land that they had taken where they are going to build a magnificent Samadhi. Okay. Maharaj is clearly saying, I did not encourage that. He's saying, let my Samadhi be just like other Samadhi in Vrindavan of the other sannyasis. I don't want a separate, bigger, magnificent Samadhi. Got it? Hello?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
He didn't even want that.
He didn't want to elaborate Samadhi, simple.
Just simple. Like all the other sannyasis you are doing, just put there. That's it. And this big land, which you have, whatever you have got, you give it to the temple. Let them use it for any purpose they deem fit. You see? No extra glorification. Use every bit for ISKCON, Vrindavan, ISKCON India, or ISKCON. This is Maharaj's life and his example. Growing the glory of ISKCON. I see a different picture of mine in almost every temple where my disciples serve. They can choose any picture they like. This practice can go on after my departure also. Okay.
He's
don't
talking about his picture, Prabhu. That is his picture.
Yeah, just picture. That is just, she's saying that I see a different picture of mine in almost every temple where my disciples serve. They can choose any picture they like. This practice can go on after my departure also. So they can choose to use any picture of mine. That's it.
I see.
I don't really have any assets. I don't really, this is another absolutely transcendental. I don't really have any assets, cash, bank deposit, lockbox, vehicles, stocks, or any property in my name. I don't have. All the properties in the zones managed by me in ISKCON are registered legally in ISKCON's name. He didn't have anything on his name. Everything he had registered in ISKCON's name only. And there's nothing in my name except a Rolex watch gifted by Srila Prabhupada in 1977, my laptop, and 2 mobiles. I desire that this watch be handed over to one of my disciples who helped me serving Srila Prabhupada. And this disciple's name is Vedvyas Prabhu. And he is the one who has helped Maharaj immensely in building all the temples. Profusely, financially, and other ways, and big time. So later the Rolex watch, which was given by Prabhupada to him, was basically granted over to that Prabhuji.
Prabhu, Maharaj was wearing that Rolex?
That I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Was he wearing it all the time? And that I'm not sure. Was he wearing it all the time? Maybe he was. But he did keep it, repairing it. It's been obviously more than 50 years, but he got it repaired and everything.
Amazing. Yeah.
So he was so particular in making the institution of Prabhupada's bodies, ISKCON, so strong. All the properties in ISKCON's name. Sometimes for other different reasons, maybe people have to do something. But Maharaj was very particular that everything in ISKCON's name, especially ISKCON India, especially is one legal entity also. ISKCON abroad, as we know, is different entities like that. But ISKCON India is one legal entity whose he was a chairman for 50 years. So everything was in ISKCON's this thing. But even otherwise, also other places, it was all, he was ensuring that the body of Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON, became stronger and stronger. And we can imagine how from 7, ISKCON India has come to 7 temples to 700 temples in his leadership. 7 temples were there, I think, initially, when Prabhupada left or so in India. It has come to 700 temples, centers like that. So what, and throughout, Maharaj has led as the ISKCON India chairman, Bureau. So what, can you see the offering to Srila Prabhupada? I mean, obviously, there were other Maharajs, but but he was having the responsibility of the ISKCON India chairman, Bureau chairman, basically. My only true assets are my personal deities. And I do not want these to be worshipped by any one individual. I therefore desire that my Shaligram Shilas and the deities be kept in the altar and worshipped at Sri Sri Radha Partha Sarthi temple, ISKCON Delhi. Shri Radha Radhika Raman temple, ISKCON Punjabi Bhag, and could be divided among other temples in my zone. I desire so as if the deities are part of the temple altar, then they will be safe. And in any case, they are worshipped by individuals. And in case they are worshipped by individuals, they could be abandoned. So Maharaj is very particular in deity worship. His own personal deity worship, he used to do, like, spend a lot of time and dedication in that. Then take shelter. If I were to pass away, I'll be really pleased and grateful if all the disciples take shelter of one of the senior devotees in this movement and without being independent. Now, this is such an important point. I have personally, in one way, seen quite a bit of this within ISKCON and in India also after coming back here. A lot of times devotees in some way or the other try to be independent in some way. It's very it's let's say fairly prominent. And I think I see that becomes really an issue.
Correct.
It really becomes the issue. And because you just, and they may be doing it in a subtle way. It's not like it will be, you will see, I myself know of multiple cases where senior devotees are saying, do this seva. Even in BRC, to do seva, and all that. They have the opportunity, but multiple people who could really dedicate their full time, but they have chosen not to. They could follow Gauranga Prabhu, let's say, and say if Gauranga Prabhu is saying you do this seva, they could. They had the opportunity, but they didn't do. So, and so they are trying to do service in some way, as I understand, in a way which is more independent. And that's, anyway, so I'm just trying to say that the Maharaj is clearly pointing out that I'm trying to pray myself that whatever I do, whether this seva, that seva, I don't want to be independent. Let's try to celebrate the dependence.
Amazing point, right? Yeah.
Like, that's why don't be independent. Independent, we may even get greater success. That's not success. The success is dependence. Success is not the result. The success is the servitude. And the servitude comes in the dependence format. Success is not the result. Servitude and dependence are synonyms. Correct, na?
Correct.
Can't say that. So so you see how Maharaj, that's why I've been very inspired actually by some of the things, because I want to implement them strongly in my life.
So, Prabhu, dependence on the Lord, dependence on his devotees, right?
Yeah, because you can't say I'm dependent on the Lord. That all the devotees say I'm dependent on the Lord.
Correct.
But that's Krishna is saying, no, my devotee is not my devotee. My devotee's devotee is my devotee.
Correct.
So what is this independence? We can even make some points in this thing, because for me actually, and it's very it comes in such a subtle way that so many people don't think they are independent. But actually, because the immediate authority, they don't want to be dependent on that. They will say, I'll be dependent on Krishna, I'll be dependent on Prabhupada, I'll be dependent on the 6 Goswamis, like that. So what is Maharaj saying here? This is Maharaj's exact sentence. So we can put, if I were to pass it, I will be really pleased. He doesn't say pleased also. So I can just make a note of this, because I'm just one of those. I will be really pleased. Okay, what is he saying? And grateful. So very powerful words, yeah. If all the disciples, and this is Shiksha and Diksha disciples, if we want to take Shiksha, that's what we can, of one of the senior devotees. You see how nicely he's saying? It's very clear. It's not like I will take shelter of you only, Maharaj, when Maharaj is not saying keep taking my shelter. No, I'm not there now. I have passed away. So you can't take my shelter directly. He's already saying it, na?
Correct.
So we can,
See the devotees in the moment.
I mean, I'm just to put our notes. You can't take even Maharaj shelter directly. What to speak of taking Prabhupada's shelter directly or six Goswami shelter directly. Right? Maharaj is already breaking that point, na? If you think like that. If anybody in a subtle way, Prabhupada's or six Goswamis or Krishna's or Mahaprabhu. I'm saying this because I was I'm just suddenly kind of mentioning it. I was on a call today actually, where some of the discussion was happening. And I was seeing some of this, that one of the devotees was mentioning this. And he was directly talking about how he has connected and this thing with what the six Goswamis are saying. But I couldn't find much, so much reference to that well, but what about the current Acharya, Prabhupada, and then the current, Guru, our Guru, how are they understanding? That needs to be put appropriately. If we try to interpret only that this is how the six Goswamis are saying this, and that's it, that is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Gaudiya Vaishnavism means that. We can't decide what is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That's to be decided by the current Acharyas.
Correct.
I'm not that current Acharya to decide what the six Goswamis meant. Correct, na? And especially you become like a scholar or something, you think like, yes, that's what I'm going to decide. No. We can't decide.
Correct.
And that's where I see that some of the devotees, and they are like, we will do bhajan in Vrindavan. But Maharaj was so much this thing, but no, just don't go think I will just go and do bhajan in Vrindavan. That is not how Prabhupada is actually saying. There's an example of that. Prabhupada is always saying, no, you go visit Vrindavan and you serve under an authority outside and then go and take inspiration from Vrindavan. Or if you are in Vrindavan, it has to be for a very dedicated seva, specific.
Right.
You can't be otherwise. Correct, na? So, anyway, so here what he is saying, see, I'm just saying I had a direct feeling about that or an experience of that. And without being independent and follow the management system set up and provided by Srila Prabhupada. So, here our comments will be, the key is the servitude, not servitude, which is basically dependence. Dependence. That is where we want to. The success is in that. Yasya prasada. By being independent, we do anything. It may look a success. It's not. It's not. We cannot bypass the current Acharya. You have to follow that management system. So anyway, I think I just had the experience of these things and all that. So I'm very, I feel very particular about this one. At least what I'm trying to do in some way and all that, because I don't want to lose this point. I don't want to lose this point. Because I think because I see in His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, I see in so many other Maharajs, their main thing is that their dedication to Srila Prabhupada and their dedication to Prabhupada's body, basically, is that level. It maintains like that. Now they have dependence of that. There's no question for and people who have managed that, they did the greatest contributions basically, especially within the body of ISKCON when they worked, cooperated together. Such a great service has happened to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So that requires an austerity to be within the system, to work within the management system, as Maharaj is saying, right? Without being independent and follow the management system. That's an austerity. That requires tolerance. That requires humility. That requires patience. Correct? But that is the real success. And eventually results come from that. And anything else which comes is not. So finally, we can read these 10 final instructions of Maharaj. I direct 10 final instructions. I direct that all my disciples shall behave and conduct themselves in the following manner upon my demise. Always accept His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, as the preeminent Shiksha Guru for all time. First, okay? To a second, always accept ISKCON's Governing Body Commission, GBC, as the ultimate management authority of ISKCON and as Srila Prabhupada's representative, and to therefore follow its direct instructions and directions. Okay? Lead your life so as to be exemplary representatives of ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada. Try to be exemplary representatives. Cooperate together with all other ISKCON devotees to push this movement forward. You see, in each of the 4 instructions, the ISKCON has come, not just Prabhupada. Yeah?
Correct. Yeah.
Then 5th, when some of you advance sufficiently to become gurus and sannyasis, to work under the GBC authorized processes to take up those services. Again, ISKCON or GBC has come. Never leave ISKCON. First and foremost, think of... Huh?
Yeah. Go ahead, Prabhu. I'm just listening.
Never
Enjoy.
leave ISKCON. First and foremost, think of yourselves as members of ISKCON. Very nice. He says, think of yourself first and foremost as members of ISKCON. That means define that as your identity. That's how you think of yourself. I am ISKCON. I am member of ISKCON. First and foremost, think of yourself as members of ISKCON. Never fight with ISKCON. Resolve your differences internally in a Vaishnava way. So in this one, he has mentioned ISKCON 3 times. 7. Never align yourselves with persons or groups not authorized by the GBC. Means basically just don't even, let's say, develop whatever official connections with things which are, at least people who are not, authorized or whatever, not favorable with the GBC, I assume. Seriously study Srila Prabhupada's books on a regular basis. Always chant at least 16 attentive rounds every day. Chant at least 25 rounds on Ekadashis and special festival days. And strictly follow the 4 regulative principles of no meat eating, no intoxicants, no gambling, and no illicit sex. 9. Work to make ISKCON a dynamic society. Work towards that. Continue donating your time and resources to ISKCON's causes.
ISKCON's?
Causes.
Causes, okay.
So out of the 10 instructions, 9 instructions talk about ISKCON, and at least 1, 2, 3 instructions specifically mention GBC.
Correct.
And 9 talk about ISKCON. I wish to state, finally, that all my endeavors as a devotee have been to serve Srila Prabhupada and the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. And I have nothing of my own except my deities. Therefore, I further direct that any assets, including temples, foundations, and or projects associated with, inspired, or directed by me or my disciples, must for all time remain under the auspices and directions of the GBC, who are the ultimate managing authority of ISKCON. Thank you for your service and love for Srila Prabhupada. Serving you has been my privilege. Serving you has been my privilege. Serving you has been my privilege. I mean, he said this twice, once only, but I'm repeating it because this was the... I thank Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master, the founder Acharya, and the preeminent Shiksha Guru of ISKCON, and a pure devotee of Lord Krishna from the spiritual world, for providing me shelter in this house he built for the whole world to live in, and desire that all my disciples, and I desire that all my disciples stay in that house, imbibe the highest philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and still higher than that, practice the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Amazing, huh? Krishna.
Jai. And I will end with one pastime where Maharaj says that somebody came to Maharaj and said, Maharaj, no, not somebody, in some meeting Maharaj was talking, and he said there was some very tough issue in management. And so that person told Maharaj, Maharaj, this really sounds like exploitation. You know, basically somebody is exploiting me or somebody is exploiting you. It sounds like exploitation. You know what Maharaj told him? Now, this is a classic for a lifetime. I hope and pray to, and I will tell you what I heard from Keshavanand Prabhu, which and connects with it philosophically. He said, we have come to ISKCON to be exploited. You understand?
By Krishna?
Yes, by Krishna, or whatever way Krishna does it, right?
Correct. So Prabhu, 1 minute, let me understand this. So somebody went to Maharaj and told that he is being exploited.
Not he. I think not he. The entire situation, I think the whole thing was that even Maharaj, as if people are exploiting Maharaj itself.
Okay, got it. So you, everybody being exploited.
So. I think that's what that Prabhu meant.
For that Maharaj said what?
Maharaj said, we have come to ISKCON to be exploited. Understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So, if you take the verse 8 of Shikshashtakam, and in fact, there is an entire lecture series by Keshavanand Prabhu on core principles of devotional service. Okay? In which he talks about that the first core principle of devotional service is, we tell to Krishna, I am yours, you are mine. Ami to tumar, tumi to amar. So, he says that in different sampradayas, they have given a different interpretation of this. There are different levels of understanding of it. In Madhva Sampradaya, I think he's saying that I am dependent on you. You are my master. And then in the Ramanuja Sampradaya, it's like, I am dependent on you. You are my master. I think is Yamunacharya or Ramanujacharya. And Madhvacharya is, you control me. You are my controller. Control me. So there is some subtle difference. In one case, you are saying, I am just dependent on you, and you are my master. And the Madhvacharya is saying that you are my controller. I I'm being controlled for you. And you can please control me. But he's saying that Mahaprabhu, even in being dependent and even in being saying that you can control me, there is some feeling. There can be, not saying there is, that there can be some feeling, but why I'm dependent on you, so you will take care of me, and so that I will be happy in your this thing, and I'm dependent on you, and you are controlling me, but I you are my controller. So there is some feeling like that of it could be for my happiness, that you will still take care of me in a way. But Mahaprabhu, he came and said, "You are my owner. Amito Tomar means you are my owner. I'm not just dependent on you. You're not just my controller. There can be one person who is a controller, one person who is a master, but higher than the controller and the master is the owner. Owner means I'm sold to you. So when somebody becomes an owner, he can exploit you also. He uses the word exploit. It seems like but it is in relation to God, you have to remember. So Ashlishyava Padaratam Pinastu Mam Adarshanan Varmahatam Karotuva Yatha Tathava Vidadhatu Lampato Mat Pranathastu Sa Evana. Here the 8th verse, the lecture, in that that is one of my most inspiring lectures. I mean, we didn't do that, huh? That's one of the most inspiring lectures I've heard from Keshwananda, in which he analyzes each and every word. But the essence of that basically comes to that only. My Lord, you can do anything to me. Pinnastumam, you may crush me. You may neglect me, you may crush me, you may humiliate me, which basically means you can exploit me.
Yeah.
You can do anything to me. There is nothing left. Rather, there's like Radharani is saying basically, or Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani is saying, you can do anything to me. Yatha tathava vidadhatu. You are a lampat, which means lampat means you can exploit me. You can have so many other paramours also, whoever, you can exploit me. But you will remain my Lord forever. And I had heard this, and he put that. And now here the same word exploit. 2 days back I hear, not 2 days. Yesterday. Yesterday morning I hear this in this offering, that Maharaj said, we have come to ISKCON to be exploited. Which means that if we are getting exploited, we are only have to understand it, the reality of this. That's a fortune.
Correct.
Krishna is not going to come in front of us to do. He is going to manifest it through situations, through devotees, etc. But I will get the feeling, oh, this is exploitation. But if I go in front of Maharaj, Maharaj is saying, well, we are here for, and only a person who thought like that could sustain 50 plus years of, not just sustain, shine in divine glory, 50 plus years, inspire so much. I mean, how many situations Maharaj would have faced where it would have been absolutely like, where he would have been felt exploited, felt hopeless, felt like people are backstabbing him, or I don't know what else. Yeah, right? What can we say? How much he would have felt like this. But how come till this last breath, he continues and inspires with such great enthusiasm? Because somebody else also asked him, he said, Maharaj, how did you do all of these responsibilities, so many things over so much time? So his simple answer was, just be humble. Just be humble. Just be patient. And he's trying to go through all of those tough situations without giving up the responsibilities, without giving up, without just letting it go, or these are things. No, he is trying to find the solution and trying to resolve any controversies and other things in the most palatable way, etc. And just keep inspiring the people to cooperate, to move forward together for the success of Srila Prabhupada's mission. His body is gone under the authority of the GBC for the ultimate benefit of the whole world, the highest ever benefit of the whole world. So those were a few thoughts. Can be discussed more also later. So many other examples are there. This is one I have noted down. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. And he never took any glory on himself. So many other things are there. Even in terms of giving the lecture, he'll study all the different detailed philosophies and other things, but he will give lectures generally very simple as per the audience.
Mm.
If the audience was simple, he will just keep simple. That means he doesn't have even that I should give a very powerful lecture. Even that can be a gratification, correct? Now? Or I should give a very powerful kirtan. That can be also a gratification.
Correct.
Not that people who are doing that, that's not to point anybody
But
else.
it could be subtly
But
also.
for somebody like me, it is. I can see in me. I have the gratification, oh, great kirtan I've done, great lecture, or some. That is definitely gratification for me. So I can see that in me. It is not to others are doing it for truly a service. Not that we shouldn't do. We should do very nice kirtan. We should do. It's not to meant for that. But Maharaj, in his example, we can see he was seeking nothing of that. He will do simplest of the kirtan, simplest of the classes. This is what Amoghila Prabhu and all they have been saying in there. But Maharaj's glory was he was Vaishnav Sevak Shiromani. He say this. His whole thing was serve the Vaishnav. And he's saying the entire management is basically serving the Vaishnav. So take all of these tough management, difficult services. There's so many things to serve the Vaishnav. Keep everybody together. Inspire everybody together. Generate the synergy. No glorification, gratification, even in terms of lecture and kirtan. Or to speak of anything else. That was a very inspiring point for me. You know, that there's no trace of that sense gratification even in that. Just trying to serve.
Is he a disciple, Prabhu? Amoghila Prabhu?
Amoghila Prabhu is a disciple, yes. For North India, with the majority, Maharaj is probably, I don't know totally, but could be at least 30,000-40,000 disciples. I mean, Jayapataka Maharaj has 75,000 or so, maybe. Then I think after that is Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Okay, so things from your side, what would you, I have basically spoken primarily today, but you can also share this.
No, I mean, the thing is what Maharaj's mood, right? Mood is attitude of a servant. He never failed from that, right? The attitude is just a servant of Srila Prabhupada and servant of Vaishnavas. So we just to say, I mean, I think I made this point once, like Prabhu, we pray, we chant every day, my dear Krishna, my dear Radharani, please engage me in your service. So our philosophy is basically the foundation is we are servant. That never changes.
Yeah.
Right? But are we really operating on that understanding always? Doubtful. Are we doing our service in the mood of a servant? Or are we doing our service in the mood of a master or controller or enjoyer or doer? Right? So we do service of many big services we may do, but in the mode of being a controller, enjoyer, or master. Yeah, Maharaj is always operating on that mindset that he is a servant. That never changes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever service he does, he serves a GBC, topmost GBC service, or it is like a going in the street and selling the books of Prabhupada. He always keeps the mood that I am a servant. So keeping the mood of a servant in doing service is a very, very important for our advancement. I think that's what we can learn from Gopal Krishna Maharaj also. If we don't have that genuine mindset, that is really, you live that principle, you cannot write a will like that, the 10 commandments or 10, 10
10
instructions.
commandments only you can say. People are calling it 10 commandments.
Yes, right. I mean, it's for everyone, not only for disciples.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
People like you and me.
That's why we are reading it. It's
Exactly.
6 disciples. He's the Shiksha Guru.
Right. I'm just saying that Maharaj, in a humble manner, is writing disciples, but Siksha and Diksha, as you said. So we are also Siksha disciples because he was our GBC and we were directly or indirectly following his instruction only, actually.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So that's my biggest lesson from this Maharaj life is that
Yes.
be a servant when you do a service. Don't try to be a master in mindset and just do a service. Right. I mean that should be our prayer. So Krishna, Radharani, please please give me a mindset of being a servant and doing a service. That is the meaning for us. Right? Otherwise, we just say, yes, give service, but we are doing service in the mode of a master, the mode of a controller. So that's the Maharaj biggest lesson for me, Prabhu.
Okay, great. Yeah. That is a prayer all the time. You're saying that's the prayer while chanting anyway.
For us, that's a prayer. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have to keep reminding ourselves, I'm doing this service, what in a mindset of what? In what attitude?
Yeah.
To get name and fame, or to compare myself with others and do better, or feeling envious if somebody does better. I'm feeling very elated when somebody glorifies my service. So these are this is how we should introspect. Being a servant. Servant doesn't expect anything, just serves. Serving is my Guru Maharaj says this. Serving is your department.
Serving is your department. That's a nice way.
Result is not your department. It's a Krishna's department. Actually, he gives or not. You
That's
just serve.
a nice way to say that. Serving,
Without any
serving is your department. Result is Krishna's department. That's a nice way.
Right? You just do your service, no expectation. Krishna knows what is better, what is best, and will give.
So I wanted to little bit meditate on this thing only, what you are saying. In my seva, how do I know that I'm acting as a, how do I know, or how do I check that I am I am doing it, let's say, or I'm acting it as a servant,
Correct.
So what would you say for that? How do you check that?
I'm doing it as a servant.
How do you practically? One can be a feeling like that, but can you practically try to also check? Feeling level is also good, but I'm just saying that somebody.
I think one is, Prabhu, the tolerance comes when you have a feeling of, at least this is my realization. Okay, the tolerance comes.
Okay, that's a result of it, that you're tolerant.
No, it gives you a strength to tolerate.
Yeah, it gives you strength to tolerate. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a servant. So, for example, when I do a service in a master mindset, then what happens when somebody does things different from what we think it should have been done? We get angry at them, or we get upset about them, and we start to say something which. But if you are really a servant, we can just introspect and say, okay, I'm doing it as I'm a servant here. I'm doing this service. Yes, people are also individuals. They're also servants of Krishna. They are giving their opinion. So my job here is to objectively evaluate it without taking it very personally. okay, evaluate it objectively and what is best for that service. And I want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I experienced that even in this 3-day Janmashtami festival, we got 10,000 people coming to our temple, right?
Yeah.
So many details, so many organization, so many people have their own way of doing things. And I learned how to be tolerant. I mean, I'm not saying I learned fully, at least better than last year.
Nice.
So that strength comes to tolerate people, to tolerate situations, tolerate circumstances,
Yeah.
and respond as a servant, not as a master.
Yeah.
Respond to the situations, people's, behavior in a Vaishnava way. I think that comes when you are a servant, I feel.
Okay.
Mood of a servant. Another, that's the first and foremost, I would say. When you are a servant, you can have a good relationship with devotees, right? Because you don't have ego there. I am a temple president. I'm a Siksha Guru. I have whatever, I'm a CEO, whatever, all this nonsense. Those are functional roles, titles I carry and to do my service. But if I have a mood of a servant, then I respect everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a servant. I'm here to serve them. Immediately, there is a conducive environment established between me and the person to respect, and practice humility. You know what I'm saying, Prabhu? If I think I'm a master, I'm an enjoyer,
Yeah.
there is no conducive platform established between me and the devotees.
Yeah.
But there I'm a receiver, right? I'm an enjoyer. So you are meant to give me enjoyment or please me. That mentality comes, right? But if you always keep yourself as a servant, I'm here. What is my role? I'm a temple president. What does that mean? I am the biggest servant in the temple. So I'm here to serve every individual, not the other way around. So when you have that mood, you all automatically respect them. You automatically tolerate them. You automatically be kind upon them. Servant doesn't have any right to claim respect or right to claim whatever. A servant, I'm here to give glories to my master. Right? So that comes. And so the relationship with the devotees gets better when you have a mood of a servant. I feel that way.
Yeah.
And chanting gets little easier, Prabhu. I was telling somebody, like, if you squeeze lemon juice, only lemon juice comes. I mean, only lemon juice comes, not mango juice comes.
Yeah.
So similarly, if your heart is full of contamination, like, you're so puffed up, this and that, when you chant, only that comes out. All the contamination comes out. But when your heart is light and you keep it as I'm a servant, when you chant, that comes out. The mood of a
This
servant.
is one of the things which I've clearly seen when I want to really, really pray and try to become better, because when the situations, the different situations are becoming a little tougher, I'm seeing that in my chanting, that thought and what do I do about it and etc. is coming up again and again and again and again. And that's really what I'm thinking, that means really I've not been able to understand that Krishna, you are actually the doer. I am not. You are the controller. I'm not here to plan this. What is coming out is basically just my wrong notion or understanding that I'm going to plan, I'm going to do something about this, etc. It should be that, as Maharaj is saying, yes, serving is your department, result is Vishnu's department. But now my seva is to you by chanting the holy name. And truly,
Prabhuji, I have 5 minutes, Prabhuji. I have 5 minutes. I have a temple meeting. Okay. But this is a very important question. I want to discuss in detail, Balaram Lila Prabhu.
Okay, so then we can gather. This is a very, very extremely important.
Can we discuss this next week, Prabhu? This question.
Okay, so we can try that. We can try that because this is and I will mention just one point. So this is when we chant, what comes out really shows where I am. That is what I heard in one of Vishwan Prabhu's classes, I think. That shows where I am. And that's why Krishna is giving us those situations. You know, people who are advanced while chanting, because as you said, lemon juice comes out. So it's coming out. I'm constantly trying to plan things and say things. So many things are happening while chanting only. So that's the problem.
Balaram Lila Prabhu, can I ask you something? How do I know that I'm doing it as a servant? You have jotted down these bullet points, right? Can you expand on that and send it in our group, Machita group?
Yeah. These are the points I can share some of this. Yeah.
That will be really good. I mean, your realization also. So that will be our discussion, starting point discussion next week.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's a very good question you asked that made me to think.
It is definitely. And again, the point of what Maharaj said, not be independent. Now, you may have different situations. In my case, I do have a lead on top of me. I'm not different situations are different. In your case, I think you are the temple president, correct? Huh? So the authority, in one sense, there is no authority above you immediately. I mean, your Guru Maharaj.
GBC. Correct. Guru Maharaj, GBC, yeah.
But right on the ground, there is nobody.
Correct.
Yes, your situation is different, but still the same principles have to be followed. In my case, I have one. And so one of my things is, even if there are, different things, I have to try to follow like
Correct.
that. So those are the, how do I do that thing in the most, in the best way, basically. What happened here? I had this